Morning. Well, you know, just been thinking about a lot of things lately and trying to figure out just why so many things just keep going wrong in my life. It's like it's very rare that something good happens in my life. I've always been that person that tries to be there for everybody, tries to help everybody. I'm nice to people, I'm good to people, you know, no matter how bad I feel, I smile, and it's like no matter how good of a person I try to be, no matter how much I do for others or how I'm there for others, it's like I can't catch a break. You know, if I'm not dealing with my back issues, leg issues, shoulder, neck, and these muscle spasms I have from head to toe, and do believe they hurt, it's like everything else is going bad. And no matter how much I try to stay positive, I can't, just really can't catch a break. You know, not only am I going through a divorce, I ended up having back surgery again. And now something else is wrong with my back. And I can feel it. And it's affecting my left leg now. I mean, it's bad enough I limp because my right leg hurts all the time from the nerve and the neuropathy and the muscle spasms. And my back is always hurting. But now I'm having new pains where I just had the surgery back in February. And it's like, when is something good going to finally happen in my life? You know, I've helped so many people in my life, even people who didn't deserve it, people who have done me wrong, stabbed me in my back, bashed me, talked about me, people who were supposed to love me, even my own family, y'all. I'm like the black sheep of the family. You know, my siblings could do all the wrong in the world. But if I do something that they feel like is bad or wrong, they never forget it. They don't talk to me. They don't check on me. They do nothing for me. And no matter how much I try to make things right or whatever, it still isn't good enough for them. And I've helped them in so many ways and been there for them in so many ways. But when I was going through my surgeries, just like my husband, they weren't there. They never checked on me. They never called me. They never did anything. You know? But as soon as I stopped trying and cut off all contact, I'm the bad person. And I get told, as the oldest sister, I'm the one who's supposed to be the better person. Well, I'm always the better person. Even when they do me wrong, I've reached out to them, forgave them, and still did for them. But because they think I did something wrong, something they don't like, they don't have to talk to me. But they could talk about me to other people and amongst themselves. They can leave me out of things, and it's okay. And I'm supposed to keep forgiving, letting it go, and keep reaching out. Yes, I forgave them. Yes, I've let the stuff go. But I no longer reach out. For what? Like I tell them all the time, when y'all are ready, I'm here. I've already forgiven y'all. I love y'all. You're my family. But I'm not reaching out anymore. I'm tired of always being the one that has to be sorry. I'm tired of always being the one that has to apologize for something I didn't do. I'm tired of always being the one who has to reach out and they don't. But I get lectures on everything. It's the same thing with my marriage. I was always forgiving. I was always letting stuff go. I was the one who would take the blame for things that everybody else was doing. Yeah, I did some things. I made some mistakes. I mean, who doesn't? I'm not perfect. And I've always admitted what I've done wrong and apologized for it, but I can't be forgiven. It gets held on to. But as soon as somebody else does something to me, I'm supposed to forget it and let it go. When the kids have done something and I don't want them to get in trouble, I'll take the blame. That's what I do. And he never lets go of any of this stuff. I didn't actually do the things, but I didn't want them to get cursed out, talked to like they're nobody and nothing and whatnot. So I would take the blame. When he would do something and for some reason remember it wrong and remember it like I did it, I would take the blame and I would apologize, although I didn't do it. He did it. And he's never forgiven me for any of it. He held on to every mistake that I took the blame for and every mistake I made. Even though when I made the mistake, I changed it, made sure I didn't make the same mistake again to make him happy and to make our marriage work. But some of these things he does also. Although I quit doing them, he continues to do them and always has done them. And it's okay for him. He doesn't have to change anything according to him because he's a grown man and he's going to be true to himself. It doesn't matter that it's not about him or me. It's about us. We're supposed to be a team. We're supposed to be one, a unit. No, it was always about him, what he felt, his opinions and everything. And me, like a dummy, I went with it. Trying to be a good wife. You know, I didn't care if he hung out. I didn't care if he came and went. He's a grown man. He can do what he wants to. It's not my job to raise him. It's not my job to question his every move. My job as his wife was to uplift him, help him to become a better man, a better dad, and a better husband. And his job was to make me a better wife, a better mom, a better person. But he didn't do that. But I did it for him. And because I would ask him, why do you do people like that? It was an issue and a problem. When I would tell him, just because you could talk to people dirty does not mean that you should, because people have feelings. And it's not okay to hurt people's feelings just because you can. It was an issue. I wasn't supposed to tell him that. I was supposed to just let him talk to people just downright dirty and ugly. When he wanted a total stranger to come to our house without knowing anything about her, during a pandemic, when people couldn't even go sit in restaurants because of the pandemic, and everybody was having to wear masks and told not to go out unless you had to, that was a problem. I wasn't supposed to ask him why you would let a total stranger come to our house in a pandemic. That was not okay, according to him. And when he would talk to the kids, just right out nasty and dirty, like they were less than human, like they didn't have feelings, like they couldn't be hurt. And I asked him if he could just tone it down a little bit because he was hurting them. That wasn't okay. He didn't like it. He's a grown man. He could talk to whoever he wants to, how he wants to. He can raise his kids how he wants to. Nobody can tell him how to raise their kids, but he can tell me how to raise mine. And I never said these things to him. He could tell me how to talk to my child, how to punish my child. But when I would ask him, don't you think that's a little harsh? Or do you know that the kids' feelings are being hurt? He was okay with that. That's just like I told him, these kids are going to grow up to hate you. He was like, well, if that's the case, they can get the hell out and go on about their business. They ain't got to like me. What kind of dad or man, period, feels like that about their own kids? All you have to do is talk to them. You don't have to curse them out and talk to them like they ain't nothing or nobody. People have feelings, but to him, it's okay. If I were to talk to the kids like that, he would have an issue, like real quick. But I would never talk to them like that, any of them, because I know better. I was talked to like that as a kid. I didn't like it. And although I love my dad, there were so many times I couldn't stand him. And I couldn't understand why he would do us the way he did and talk to us the way he did when we didn't deserve it. And that's what I can't get him to understand. But to him, I'm telling him, we have different parenting styles, and he's not okay with it. All because I asked him if he had to just start off cussing at the kids and talking to them like they were nobodies. These, oh, and when I changed my life around and turned my life over to God, he felt like I was pushing my beliefs on them when I wasn't. All I asked him to do is to be a kind person, to stop talking to the people like he was talking to them. It wasn't okay to continually to hurt people's feelings. An example is, he has a friend that he talks to from time to time, and she gets into some things, and she does not make some of the best decisions in the world. But instead of talking to her like a normal person would, forgive me for this, but he would call her black bitches, stupid motherfuckers, and all kind of ignorant everything. And I asked him, why would you talk to somebody like that? It's not cool. And that she's not the only one he talks to like this. And it's crazy. And he got mad because of that and said that I was trying to push my beliefs on him. And that's not pushing your beliefs on somebody. Being a good person is not pushing a beliefs on somebody. Asking somebody why they would talk to people like that is not pushing their beliefs on them. It's asking you, why do you have to be a butthole? Why do you have to be so cruel and mean? But to him, that was not okay. These are the reasons he wants a divorce. If I would have never said nothing and just let him continue to treat people like crap, treat the kids like crap, he would have been fine. But I just think it's crazy. He's such a hypocrite that the things that he does to other people and says to other people are okay. But if at any point in this marriage, if I would have talked to the kids the way that he talks to the kids, I would have been in trouble. And the only thing I ever wanted, and I'm stupid and still want, regardless of how he is, because I vowed to love him no matter what, in sickness and in health, for rich or for poor, forsaking all others till death do us part. I took my vows seriously. And I was willing to do anything and everything, and I still am, to make the marriage work. I just wish he felt the same way. And he doesn't. And to this day, I would still love for our marriage to work. I would love for him to just call off the divorce and try one more time. Because I believe it can work. You know? And I believe that he can and will change one day. It's just sad that he hasn't taken his vows seriously, because where he used to be a wonderful man. He did, y'all. He really did. He used to be a kind, sweet, empathetic, loving, affectionate man. And somewhere it started to change. He started becoming mean and angry all the time, hateful, petty, and just a horrible human being. And I don't know why, but that's what happened. And all I want is for him to just try, because it's something he hasn't done. In the past few years, he stopped trying in this marriage. He stopped caring about my needs. He stopped valuing me and my needs. Although I always valued his. And I did anything that he asked of me, and everything that he asked of me. And I didn't ask much of him. All I ever wanted was for him to give me a little bit of his time. I started off asking for like 20, 30 minutes of his time. And like I told him, you don't even have to give me your time every day. Once or twice a week is fine with me, as long as you try to give me some of your time. Then I realized he's a very busy man. So I asked him, how about 5 or 10 minutes of your time? Even 5 minutes is good enough for me. And again, you don't have to give that to me every day. Just once or twice a week, just to show me that you value me enough to give me 5 minutes of your time. No phone calls, no friends, no nothing. Just me and you talking and reconnecting. That was a problem for him. And now he hollers he doesn't know any woman that can live without affection. Baby, I've done it for 8 years. And like I told him, I wish he would have given me the choice from the start, but he didn't. He acted like he was an affectionate man. Then a year after we got married, there was no affection. And it hasn't been for 8 long years. And I was okay with that. I wasn't okay with not having the choice to choose if I wanted to live with affection or not. But I adapted. And that's all I kept telling him, is you should have given me the choice. I would have been fine if you would have given me the choice. If you would have been honest with me from jump and told me that you're not an affectionate man, instead of giving me all this affection and then taking it away from me. That was the issue I had. I told him I can live with affection if I was given the choice. But I wasn't given that choice. I was forced into that. And like I told him, I did a mighty fine job of living without affection. All I asked was for him to be there for me when I needed him the most. With deaths in my family, whenever I went through a surgery and recovery. And he wasn't. Now he does take me to doctor's appointments. He makes sure I can get there when he can't take me. I'll give him that. But in any other way, he wasn't there for me. And now it's like I never meant anything to him. And he keeps saying, I don't know how he feels, but you show no emotion. I don't. How am I supposed to know how you feel? You act like you're okay through all of this. You act like you have no emotions about anything. You don't show love. You don't show respect. You don't show me anything but anger. And he's so nonchalant about everything. And like I keep telling him, I don't go by your words. I go by your actions. I go by your works. What you do tells me more than what you say. How you act shows me way more than what you say. Because when your actions don't line up with your words, that's telling me all I need to know. You don't love me, you don't care about me, and I don't think you ever did. I take that back. I know at one point he did, but for the past few years, I couldn't tell. And when I would go to him, he would tell me, if you feel like I'm not showing you this or show you that, call me out on it. Y'all, I did. I would go to him and try to talk to him. And you know what he told me? I don't want to hear it. Or he would tell me I'm exaggerating, or that sounds like me, or that sounds good, but I don't think so. So how am I supposed to call you out on something that you refuse to acknowledge? And then when I do come and talk to you about it, you get mad at me for talking to you about it, but you keep telling me to come to you. And then he gets mad when I come to him, although that's what he asked me to do. And he would tell me, if at any point I don't make you happy or make you feel a certain way, please tell me. I can't change what I don't know. So when I go to him, he still wouldn't change it because he didn't believe it. And I'll tell him, see, that's what I'm talking about. That right there is what I'm talking about. This is what you do, but you keep telling me you don't. No, I don't. No, I didn't. You just did it. No, I didn't. All right, fine, whatever. And I would let it go. So then I just started keeping it to myself and just living with it and dealing with it, because in his eyes, he wasn't doing anything. In his eyes, he was a good husband when he wasn't. And even though he wasn't, I was willing to stick in there and love him through it, and to help him. And it made him angry. And he decided he didn't want to be married anymore. I didn't do anything wrong. And I don't think asking him why he talks to people the way he does, and wouldn't it be better if he was just a little nicer, even if you don't want to stop, just, tone it down a little bit. I don't think there's a problem with that. But in his eyes, it was a big problem. I don't think there was anything wrong with asking why he would let a stranger come to our house when we got the kids and him and the dog, and all of us have pre-existing conditions, every single one of us. So I didn't understand why he would invite somebody we didn't know, don't know her habits, don't know what she was into. All I knew is she took public transportation. So I don't see anything wrong with asking why he would let a stranger come to our house during the pandemic. I also don't see anything wrong with asking if you can tone it down when you talk to the kids and stop hurting their feelings, please. But in his eyes, all of that was the biggest mistake I've made. It was a sin against him, and I was so wrong. I pray and hope that he comes to his senses and realize I didn't do anything wrong, and that he's making a big deal out of nothing, out of something that any wife or any husband would do for their spouse or ask their spouse if they're not mean themselves. I just wanted him to be a better dad and a better man, and I didn't want the kids to grow up to hate him. 2 of the kids already really don't want anything to do with him. And 1 just does for now. And the youngest one is leaning towards not wanting to be around him like the other 2. 1 refuses to come around him because of how he's been treated. The other one is tolerating him for now. And the other one, like I said, is leaning towards not having anything to do with him, not wanting to be around him. And that's what I was trying to avoid. But he doesn't see that. He just sees it as I was trying to change him. And I was trying to tell him what to do. And I was questioning his decision. And it would never be that. I had too much respect for him, too much love for him for that. Never wanted to try to change him. I wanted him to change on his own. I just wanted him to know how hurtful it is, especially as somebody who's been through it. And he knows what I've been through. Well, not everything, but he knows some of what I went through in my life. So I just don't know. But I'm dumb enough to still want to see this work, because I believe he could change, and he could be a better man and a better husband, a better dad. And what he lacks, I make up for with the kids. And I let them know that no matter what, I'm here for them. And I love them, and there's nothing I wouldn't do for them. And I will actually sit down and talk to them, and they understand, and they're good, and they listen. And like I tell them, you don't have to yell and scream and curse these kids out. They're old enough and mature enough to understand if you just sit down and talk to them. And just like him, I, and anybody else, they make mistakes. And you don't have to hurt their feelings to get your point across, for them to learn a lesson. Just talk to them. They're human beings with feelings. But I guarantee you, if anybody was to ever talk to him the way that he talks to these kids and other people, he would have an issue with it. But it's okay for him to do it. And I don't get it. When I asked him if he could stop it, and he told me no, I said, okay, fine. You don't want to stop? Fine. Can you at least tone it down? I don't see an issue with that. But he really does. And my thing is I've done so much for people. I've helped so many people. I've been nothing but nice to people. Yet, I can't catch a break. Everything is going wrong in my life. But I see him and other people who are mean to people, who dog people out, who do people so wrong. Everything is going right for them. And I don't get it. And I've helped so many people in my life that when I'm in need, nobody's there. I would just like for something good to happen in my life. Finally. And I don't think that's too much to ask. And he wants me to move out, although he knows I can't afford to move out. My disability doesn't pay enough for me to live or to make it. He's been taking care of me all these years. And the saddest part is he knows this, because I was living with my ex when him and I got together, because I could not afford to live on my own. My ex was taking care of me even though we weren't together. And he knows this. Yet he's trying to push me out of the house like I wouldn't be homeless. Even if I had a roommate, I wouldn't be able to help. I just don't make enough. And I can't work because my back and my legs and my shoulder and my neck, and then these spasms are so strong that they're tearing up the rest of my spine. And like I said, I have them from head to toe, and I'm on all these medications that I don't want to be on. But if I don't take my meds, I won't be able to move or even walk, because the pain will be so bad I wouldn't be able to move. So even with the pills, I'm having bad pains, but I'm tolerating and dealing with it. And I just don't understand how somebody who says that they love me or ever loved me and that cares about me could do me so wrong. I would never treat anybody like this or do anybody like this. Heck, as much as he's disrespected me and allowed other people to disrespect me, I didn't walk away from him. I continued to fight for my marriage. I just wish he could see how wrong he was. And I wish that he would try to work on this marriage and call off this divorce and be a better husband and a better man and a better dad. Because I would do anything for him and the kids. And I know that may make me sound stupid and whatever, and I don't care. I don't care what people think or how they feel about my decisions. But when you love somebody and you love them this deep and you love them this hard, it's hard to let go. And I honestly have never loved anybody the way I love him. I don't know why I felt so hard for him. Maybe it was because all the promises he made to never hurt me the way I've been hurt before. The promises he made to be a better man to me than the men who used to be in my life. And to be a better dad than my dad was. He made all these promises that he just didn't keep. Just like he promised that no matter what, he would work on this marriage and try to make it work no matter what happens, because he did not want another failed marriage. I'm his third wife, and I'm the one that he's been with the longest. I'm the longest relationship, marriage he's ever had. And that says a lot about him and who he is. Because if it wasn't for my commitment and me honoring my vows and sticking in there, it wouldn't have made it this long. And I guarantee there is no other woman in this world, none, that would be willing to put up with everything that I put up with, willing to go through everything I went through, and stick in there as long as I did. Even out of love. But my love doesn't come with conditions. And he loves on condition. Conditions come with his love and his respect and his honor. And that's sad. Because he'll never have another long-lasting relationship or marriage. And it seems like he's in love with getting married. He just doesn't love to stay in a marriage. He nitpicks and finds everything wrong after he gets married so that he could get out of the marriage. And I've told him, the reasons you stated for divorce are invalid. They're stupid. And nobody else would do that but you. Because they're not reasons for divorce. This marriage could work if he actually wanted it to. And I just pray he changes his mind and actually tries to work on this marriage and make it work. And gets rid of his ego. Because only a boy would do what he's doing. A real man wouldn't have done this. At all. And the fact that he got some people supporting the decisions he made tells me he's lying. Because nobody in their right mind would be like, you're making the right decision. No, they would tell him, dude, you're stupid. Because I tell you what, his friends go through more bull crap in their relationships and marriages than he ever has. I don't do any of what these other women do at all. But hey, all I know is one day, if he continues to go through with this, I just know that one day, and I hope I get to see it, he will reap what he sows. Because there's no way he can continue to be such a cruel, angry, narcissistic person and still have the luck that he has. There's no way. No way whatsoever. And I just pray that one day everything will stop going wrong in my life and that I finally have some good come in my life. Because I'm tired. I'm tired of going through all this stuff. I'm grateful and thankful for the things that I have. I may not have much, but I'm thankful and grateful for it. And I'm humble. But I just keep going through things. If it's not with my injuries, it's with people in my life. And I don't understand it. But I just pray that some kind of way I can get the money to grant him what he wants, and that's to leave. Because right now I just don't have it. Well, it's time for me to lay down and rest. I just finished all his clothes. Y'all have a good one.